A man stood in front of a closed door for years. He pushed it. He pulled it. He blamed the lock. He blamed his weak hands. Then one day, someone whispered, "The door was never locked. You were only afraid to turn the handle." Your English may be the same. You know the words, you understand the question. You can even create the perfect answer inside your mind. But when someone suddenly speaks to you, everything disappears. Your heart races, your tongue becomes heavy, and the sentence returns only after the moment is gone. So let me ask you one powerful question. What if your English is not trapped because you know too little, but because fear has been standing between your mind and your mouth? This audiobook will teach you how to break that invisible wall. You will learn how to calm your mind, buy time without looking nervous, speak in natural chunks, control dangerous pauses, and train yourself until sudden conversations no longer frighten you. Stay until the final chapter, because the person who begins this journey may still fear speaking, but the person who finishes it will know how to rise, breathe, and answer. Your voice was never missing. It was only waiting for you to unlock it. Chapter 1. You are awakening the calm, powerful speaker who has been waiting silently inside you, the silent killer, exposing the hidden demon that freezes your tongue. The hidden enemy is not a lack of vocabulary. It is the fear of being judged. You may know many English words, you may understand the question clearly, but the moment someone looks at you and waits for your answer, fear enters your mind. Suddenly, every word feels wrong. You begin checking grammar, pronunciation, tense, and sentence order all at once. Your brain becomes too busy trying to protect you from embarrassment. That is why your tongue freezes. The problem is not that you know nothing. The problem is that you are trying to sound perfect before you allow yourself to speak. But real conversation is not an examination. The other person is not waiting to punish your mistakes. They simply want to understand you. So stop asking, "Is my English perfect?" Ask, "Can my message reach them?" One simple sentence spoken with courage is more powerful than a perfect sentence trapped inside your mind. Communication begins when perfection ends. Chapter 2. Awakening the Silent Warrior. Unlock the calm power hidden inside you. Inside you, there is a calm speaker waiting to awaken. This speaker does not need perfect grammar. This speaker does not panic when a question comes suddenly. The power begins with one small action. Slow down. Before you answer, breathe out gently. Relax your shoulders. Look at the person and remind yourself, "I only need to begin." You do not need the whole answer in your mind. You only need the first simple sentence. Fear tells you to hurry. Calmness gives your words time to appear. When your body becomes relaxed, your mind feels safer. Then the English you already know begins returning naturally. Your real strength is not speaking faster than everyone else. It is remaining peaceful when your mind feels pressure. Every calm breath tells your brain, "I am safe, I can speak." The silent warrior inside you is not someone who never feels nervous. It is the person who feels nervous, stays present, and speaks anyway. Chapter 3. The Forbidden Arsenal. Secret phrases that buy you godlike time. You do not need to answer every question immediately. Confident speakers also need time to think. The difference is that they know how to create that time without becoming silent. When a sudden question arrives, use a simple phrase such as, "That is an interesting question. Let me think for a moment." What I would say is, "To be honest, I have never thought about that before." These phrases are powerful because they keep your mouth moving while your mind prepares the answer. Instead of standing in painful silence, you remain inside the conversation. The other person does not see panic. They see someone calm, thoughtful, and in control. Choose 2 or 3 phrases and practice them every day until they become automatic. Then, when your mind suddenly feels empty, you will not need to search for a beginning. Your rescue phrase will appear first. Sometimes, confidence is not knowing the answer quickly. It is knowing how to give your mind enough time to find it. Chapter 4. Flow like a river, the chunking secret that makes English effortless. Most English learners try to speak one word at a time. First, they search for the subject. Then they search for the verb. Then they worry about grammar. Then they try to remember the next word. By the time the sentence is ready, the moment has already passed. This is why speaking feels heavy. You are not really speaking. You are building every sentence like a wall, one brick at a time. Natural speakers do something different. They use chunks. A chunk is a small group of words that stays together. For example, in my opinion. The main reason is, as far as I know. What I mean is, it depends on the situation. I am not completely sure, but these phrases are powerful because your mind does not need to create them again and again. They are already prepared. When someone asks you a question, you can begin with one chunk. While you are saying it, your mind gets time to prepare the next part. This is how English begins to flow. You stop forcing every word. You stop translating every sentence. You stop feeling that you must invent English from nothing. Think of chunks like stepping stones across a river. Without them, you feel afraid to move. With them, you can cross one step at a time. Do not try to memorize hundreds of difficult words. Begin with useful groups of words that match your real life. Learn chunks for giving opinions, asking questions, explaining problems, agreeing, disagreeing, and buying time. Repeat them aloud. Use them in small answers. Say them until they feel familiar in your mouth. One day, you will notice something beautiful. The sentence will begin before fear has time to stop you. Your English will no longer feel like a puzzle. It will feel like a path your mind already knows. That is the secret of effortless speaking. You do not need more words first. You need better roads for the words you already know. Chapter 5. Master the Void. Turn deadly pauses into magnetic power. Most English learners are afraid of silence. The moment they stop speaking, they believe something has gone wrong. They think the other person is judging them. They feel they must quickly fill the empty space with any word, any sound, or any sentence. That is why many people say or repeat the same words again and again. But silence is not always weakness. Sometimes, silence is power. A calm pause can make you look thoughtful, confident, and fully present. The real problem is not the pause itself. The problem is the fear you attach to it. When you panic during silence, your body becomes tense, your breathing becomes shallow, your mind starts running in many directions. Then even simple words become difficult to find. But when you accept the pause, everything changes. You breathe slowly. You keep gentle eye contact. You allow your mind to search without shame. Then you continue speaking with a clear voice. Imagine someone asks you a difficult question. Instead of rushing, you pause for 2 seconds. You look calm. You think. Then you say, "That is a good question. I think the main reason is that short silence does not make you look weak. It makes your answer feel more important." People often listen more carefully when a speaker is not afraid to pause. A pause creates space. In that space, your mind can choose better words. Your voice can become stronger. Your message can become clearer. You do not need to speak without stopping to prove that your English is good. Even native speakers pause. Teachers pause. Leaders pause. Great storytellers pause before an important line because silence prepares the listener. Start practicing this power. Read a short paragraph aloud and pause after every sentence. Answer simple questions and wait 2 seconds before you begin. Record yourself and listen carefully. At first, the silence may feel long, but when you hear the recording, you may discover that it sounds natural. The pause that felt dangerous inside your mind may sound calm to everyone else. Do not fight the empty moment. Use it. Let silence hold the conversation while your thoughts become clear. You are not losing control when you pause. You are choosing control. The person who fears silence becomes a prisoner of every conversation. The person who masters silence becomes difficult to shake. So the next time your words disappear, do not lower your eyes. Do not apologize. Do not run from the moment. Breathe. Stay present. Let the silence work for you. Then speak when your words are ready. That is how a deadly pause becomes magnetic power. Chapter 6. Forge through fire. Pressure simulations that make freezing impossible. You cannot learn to remain calm under pressure by avoiding pressure forever. You may read many books. You may watch hundreds of English videos. You may learn thousands of words. But if you only practice when you are alone, relaxed, and fully prepared, your mind may still freeze when a real person suddenly asks you a question. Why? Because real conversations are not quiet classrooms. They move quickly. People interrupt. Questions arrive without warning. Sometimes, several people are listening. Sometimes, the speaker has an accent you do not understand. Sometimes, you know the answer, but you feel that you must give it immediately. That pressure changes everything. Your heart begins beating faster. Your breathing becomes shorter. Your mouth becomes dry. Your mind searches for perfect grammar, but the words begin disappearing. Then you blame your English. But your English is not always the real problem. Your brain simply has not been trained to use English while it is under pressure. This is why you must forge your speaking ability through fire. Fire changes weak metal into something stronger. In the same way, small and safe moments of pressure can change your frightened mind into a calm, prepared, and powerful speaking mind. You do not need to wait for difficult conversations to surprise you. You can create the pressure yourself. You can train your mind before the real moment arrives. Think about a firefighter. A firefighter does not wait for a real building to burn before learning what to do. They practice first. They wear the heavy clothes. They enter smoke-filled rooms. They learn how to move when they cannot see clearly. They repeat the same actions until fear can no longer control their hands. When the real fire comes, they do not need to invent courage. Their training begins working automatically. English speaking is similar. You need to practice the feeling of surprise. You need to practice answering before you feel completely ready. You need to practice making mistakes without stopping. You need to teach your brain that pressure does not mean danger. It simply means begin with what you have. Start with the 3-second drill. Ask yourself a simple question, but do not prepare the answer. You can ask, what did you do yesterday? What is one thing you want to improve? What makes a good friend? Would you rather live in a city or a village? What is something you learned recently? After asking the question, count 1, 2, 3, then begin speaking. Do not wait for the perfect sentence. Do not build the entire answer inside your mind. Your only goal is to begin before 3 seconds have passed. You might start with, I think, in my experience, for me. That is interesting because I have never thought about this, but the first sentence does not need to be impressive. It only needs to break the silence. The moment you begin, the pressure becomes smaller. Your brain stops staring at the whole conversation as one huge mountain. It begins taking one small step at a time. At first, your answers may be short. You may repeat words. You may use simple grammar. That is not failure. That is training. A person learning to swim does not begin in the middle of a deep ocean. They begin where they can stand. Simple sentences are the safe water where speaking confidence begins. The next exercise is the surprise question box. Write 20 questions on small pieces of paper. Fold them and place them inside a box, cup, or bag. Every day, choose one question without looking. Open it. Give yourself 3 seconds. Then speak for 1 minute. The question may be easy. It may be strange. It may be something you have never considered before. That is exactly why the exercise works. Your brain learns that it does not need a prepared speech. It learns how to create an answer while speaking. You are teaching your mind to walk through uncertainty. Suppose you pick this question. If you could remove one bad habit from the world, what would it be? You may not know the perfect answer. Begin anyway. You could say, that is a difficult question. I think I would remove the habit of judging people too quickly. The reason is that we often do not know what another person is facing. Notice what happened. The first phrase gave you time. The next sentence gave your answer direction. Then the idea began growing naturally. This is how fluent speaking often works. You do not always see the final sentence before you begin. You discover it while moving toward it. Now add a timer. A timer creates healthy pressure because it gives your mind a clear limit. Set it for 30 seconds. Choose a question. Begin answering within 3 seconds. Keep speaking until the timer ends. The purpose is not to create a perfect answer. The purpose is to stay in motion. When you forget a word, explain it another way. When your sentence breaks, begin a new one. When you make a mistake, continue. Do not stop and punish yourself. Do not return to the beginning. Real conversations do not have a restart button. You must train yourself to recover while moving forward. This skill is more valuable than perfect grammar. A strong speaker is not someone who never makes mistakes. A strong speaker is someone who does not collapse because of one mistake. Imagine you say, yesterday, I go to the market. You suddenly realize that go should have been went. Your old habit may tell you to freeze. It may tell you that everyone noticed. It may tell you to correct the entire sentence, but you can simply continue. And I bought some fruit for my family. The meaning is still clear. The conversation is still alive. One small mistake did not destroy anything. Every time you continue after a mistake, you weaken the fear that has been controlling you. You show your brain that imperfection is safe. You teach your tongue that it does not need permission from fear. Another powerful exercise is the interruption drill. Many learners can speak when nobody interrupts them. But the moment another person asks a second question, changes the topic, or says, "What do you mean?" their mind goes blank. You can train for this. Ask a friend or speaking partner to interrupt you gently while you answer. They can say, Why? Can you explain that? What happened next? Are you sure? Can you give an example? Your task is not to give a brilliant response. Your task is to remain calm and stay connected to the conversation. Use a bridge phrase. What I mean is, let me explain it another way. A good example would be, the reason I say that is, these phrases help your mind change direction without falling into silence. An interruption is not an attack. It is simply another door opening inside the conversation. You must learn to walk through it. The next exercise is the noise drill. Real conversations do not always happen in silent rooms. They happen in shops, offices, classrooms, streets, cafes, stations, and family gatherings. There may be music. There may be traffic. Other people may be speaking. Your mind may become tired because it is trying to hear, understand, think, and answer at the same time. Practice with gentle background noise. Turn on a cafe sound, quiet television, or a recording of people talking. Then answer English questions aloud. Keep the noise low at first. As you become stronger, increase it slightly. This trains your attention. You learn to keep your mind on the speaker instead of becoming lost in everything around you. Do not make the exercise too difficult. The goal is growth, not punishment. Pressure training should challenge you, but it should not crush you. A tree becomes stronger in wind, but a storm can break a young tree. Increase the difficulty slowly. Your mind needs time to build new strength. You can also practice the fast question drill. Ask a friend to give you 10 short questions, one after another. For example, what is your favorite food? What time do you wake up? What makes you angry? Do you like traveling? What is one goal you have? Which season do you enjoy? What did you eat today? Who inspires you? What makes a good teacher? What would you like to learn? Answer each question with only 1 or 2 sentences. Do not explain too much. Do not search for advanced words. The speed of the exercise teaches your brain to respond without overthinking. It shows you that simple English can still be strong English. Many learners freeze because they believe every answer must be long, clever, and impressive. But most real conversations are built from small answers. A few clear words can carry a complete thought. You do not need to give a speech every time someone speaks to you. Sometimes, I agree because that has also happened to me, is enough. Sometimes, I am not sure, but I would like to learn more, is enough. Sometimes, could you say that again more slowly, is the strongest answer available. Confidence grows when you stop demanding greatness from every sentence. Now practice the unknown word drill. Choose a simple object, but pretend you do not know its English name. Maybe you choose a spoon. Do not say the word. Explain it. It is something we use when eating soup. It is made of metal or plastic. You hold it in your hand. Then choose another word. A pillow, a mirror, a ladder, a wallet, a refrigerator. Explain each one without using its name. This exercise gives you freedom. It teaches you that forgetting one word does not mean the conversation must end. Your mind begins searching for meaning instead of searching for one exact word. That is a major change. Weak speakers depend on perfect vocabulary. Strong speakers know how to move around missing vocabulary. They build another road. They use examples. They describe shape, purpose, color, place, or action. They keep the listener with them. When you can explain what you mean, you are no longer trapped by the word you forgot. Another important exercise is the camera drill. Turn on your phone camera. Stand or sit as though someone is interviewing you. Look into the camera and answer one question for 2 minutes. The camera creates pressure because it makes you feel watched. You may become more aware of your face, your voice, your mistakes, and your pauses. This discomfort is useful. It reveals the fear that often appears in real conversations. Do not record yourself only once. Record the same question 3 times. In the first answer, you may feel nervous. In the second, you will feel more familiar. By the third, your mind may become calmer and your words may flow more easily. Watch the recording with kindness. Do not search only for mistakes. Notice what you did well. Did you begin quickly? Did you explain your idea clearly? Did you recover after forgetting a word? Did you remain calm during a pause? Did you finish the answer? These victories matter. Your mind becomes stronger when it can see proof of progress. If you only attack yourself, your brain begins connecting English with pain. Then every future conversation feels dangerous. But when you notice improvement, English becomes a place of growth. Correct only 1 or 2 things after each recording. Do not try to fix everything at once. Maybe today you work on speaking more clearly. Tomorrow you work on reducing repeated words. Another day you practice stronger beginnings. Small corrections create lasting growth. Too much correction creates fear. You can also use role play. Pretend you are in situations that often make you nervous. Imagine you are meeting someone for the first time. Imagine you are ordering food. Imagine you are speaking to a customer. Imagine you are asking for directions. Imagine you are attending a job interview. Imagine your teacher suddenly asks for your opinion. Imagine someone calls you on the phone in English. Act out both sides of the conversation. Change your voice slightly when playing the other person. Ask unexpected questions. Create small problems. Perhaps the restaurant does not have the food you want. Perhaps the interviewer asks about a weakness. Perhaps the customer does not understand your explanation. Perhaps the person on the phone speaks too quickly. Practice what you will do. Say, "Could you repeat that, please? Could you speak a little more slowly? Let me make sure I understood you. I do not know the exact word, but what I am trying to say is," these sentences become shields under pressure. The more often you use them in practice, the more quickly they appear in real life. Your brain remembers what you repeat. It does not care whether the situation is real or imagined. When you rehearse calmly, you create a map. Then, when a similar moment happens, your mind recognizes the road. One of the strongest exercises is the discomfort ladder. Write 5 speaking situations from easiest to hardest. Your ladder may look like this. Level 1. Speak alone for 1 minute. Level 2. Send a short English voice message to a friend. Level 3. Ask a simple question in English online. Level 4. Have a 5-minute call with a speaking partner. Level 5. Speak English in front of a small group. Do not jump immediately to the hardest level. Climb slowly. Stay on one level until the fear becomes smaller, then move upward. This is how courage grows. Courage is not created by one giant action. It is created by many small moments when you feel fear but do not run away. Every completed step tells your brain, "I survived." Then the next step feels less dangerous. Maybe your voice shakes during your first call. That is fine. Maybe your grammar becomes weak. That is fine. Maybe you forget simple words. That is fine. The purpose is not to prove that you are already fearless. The purpose is to become less controlled by fear each time. You must also train your body. Freezing is not only inside your thoughts. It lives in your shoulders, chest, breathing, jaw, and hands. Before a pressure exercise, breathe in gently. Then breathe out more slowly than you breathed in. Relax your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Place both feet firmly on the ground. Tell yourself, "I do not need to impress anyone. I only need to communicate. I am allowed to pause. I am allowed to make mistakes. I know enough to begin." These words prepare your nervous system. They remind your body that a conversation is not a physical danger. No one is chasing you. No fire is burning around you. No terrible thing will happen because your sentence is imperfect. You are simply 2 human beings sharing meaning. This truth may sound simple, but fear often makes you forget it. Pressure training helps you remember. It teaches your body to remain present. It teaches your mind to stay open. It teaches your mouth to continue moving. At the end of every exercise, ask yourself 3 questions. Did I begin? Did I continue after difficulty? Did I finish? These are more important than asking, "Was everything perfect?" Beginning breaks fear. Continuing builds strength. Finishing creates proof. That proof becomes confidence. Confidence is not a magical feeling that arrives before action. It is evidence collected after action. Every time you answer under pressure, you collect another piece of evidence. Every time you recover from a mistake, you collect evidence. Every time you survive an awkward pause, you collect evidence. Every time someone understands your imperfect English, you collect evidence. Slowly, your identity begins to change. You stop saying, "I always freeze." You begin saying, "Sometimes I feel nervous, but I can still answer." Then one day you say, "I know how to handle pressure." That sentence is not empty motivation. It is the truth your training has created. Remember, you are not trying to remove every nervous feeling. Even strong speakers sometimes feel pressure. Even experienced teachers can forget a word. Even confident people may need time to think. The goal is not to become a machine. The goal is to become someone who can move while feeling pressure. Someone who can breathe while the heart beats quickly. Someone who can use a simple sentence when a perfect sentence will not come. Someone who can pause without disappearing. Someone who can make a mistake without losing the whole conversation. That person is already forming inside you. Every drill is a hammer. Every surprise question is heat. Every uncomfortable recording is fire. Every mistake you survive makes the metal stronger. Do not hate the pressure. Use it. Do not hide from the difficult moment. Rehearse it. Do not wait to feel completely ready. Readiness is created through repetition. Train for 5 minutes each day. On the first day, use the 3-second drill. On the second day, answer a surprise question. On the third day, record yourself. On the fourth day, practice with background noise. On the fifth day, try a short role play. On the sixth day, speak with another person. On the seventh day, repeat the exercise that frightened you most. Then begin again. The practice does not need to be long. It needs to be honest. 5 focused minutes under gentle pressure can teach you more than 1 hour of silent study. Books can give you knowledge. Listening can give you understanding. But only speaking under pressure teaches your mind not to freeze. So when the next unexpected English conversation arrives, you will still feel the moment. You may feel a small rise in your heartbeat. You may need one breath. You may need one rescue phrase. But you will not become helpless. You will remember the fire. You will remember the timer. You will remember the surprise questions. You will remember all the times you continued after making a mistake. And something powerful will happen. Instead of waiting for fear to leave, you will begin speaking while fear is still there. You will say the first simple sentence, then the second, then another. The pressure will begin losing its power. The conversation will move forward, and you will realize that the thing you feared was never stronger than you. It was only unfamiliar. Now you have entered it many times. Now your mind knows what to do. Now your silence is no longer a prison. Your mistakes are no longer enemies. Your nervousness is no longer a command. You have been forged through fire, and the fire that once frightened you has become the fire that made freezing almost impossible. Chapter 7. The Awakened Legend. Become the person who never freezes again. There comes a moment when learning English is no longer only about words. It becomes about identity. You stop asking, how can I speak like a confident person? You begin asking, what kind of person am I becoming every time I choose to speak? This is the final transformation. At the beginning, you believed the problem was your vocabulary. Then you discovered the silent fear hiding behind your hesitation. You learned that the real enemy was not English. It was the pressure to be perfect. You awakened the calm power inside you. You learned how to breathe before speaking. You learned secret phrases that gave your mind time. You stopped building every sentence one word at a time. You began using chunks that helped your thoughts flow. You turned pauses into power. You trained under pressure. You entered the fire again and again until fear could no longer command your tongue. Now one final step remains. You must stop seeing yourself as the person who always freezes. As long as you repeat that story, your mind will keep obeying it. Every time you say, I am bad at speaking, your brain listens. Every time you say, I always forget everything, your fear becomes stronger. Every time you say, I cannot speak when people are watching, you build another wall around yourself. Words are not only sounds. The words you say about yourself become instructions. Your mind begins creating proof for the identity you repeat. If you call yourself weak, you notice every weak moment. If you call yourself afraid, you remember every time your voice shook. If you call yourself a failure, even a small mistake begins to feel like a final judgment. But you are not the person you were when this journey began. You have already changed. You now understand what causes the freeze. You know how to calm your body. You know how to begin before the perfect answer arrives. You know how to continue after a mistake. You know how to explain a missing word. You know how to use silence without becoming afraid of it. You know how to survive pressure. This is not small. These are the signs of a new speaker being born. The awakened legend is not someone who speaks with perfect grammar every second. It is not someone who knows every word. It is not someone who never becomes nervous. It is someone who refuses to let one nervous feeling control the entire conversation. That person may feel pressure, but they still breathe. They may forget a word, but they find another road. They may make a mistake, but they do not fall apart. They may need a pause, but they do not treat silence like death. They continue. They stay present. They finish the thought. This is what real speaking power looks like. Many learners wait for confidence before they speak. They say, one day, when my English becomes better, I will join conversations. They say, when I learn more grammar, I will answer quickly. They say, when I know enough words, I will stop being afraid. But that day never arrives by waiting. Confidence is not the door you must find before speaking. Speaking is the door that leads to confidence. You do not become brave and then act. You act while fear is still present, and bravery is created inside that action. Think of a child learning to walk. The child does not wait until balance is perfect. The child stands, shakes, takes one step and falls. Then the child rises again. Nobody looks at that child and says, "You failed because you fell." Everyone understands that falling is part of learning, but when adults learn English, they often forget this kindness. They expect themselves to walk perfectly on the first day. They punish every fall. They hide after every mistake. They compare their first steps with someone else's 1,000th step. Then they wonder why speaking feels painful. You must give yourself the same patience you would give a child. Your mistakes are not proof that you cannot speak. They are proof that you are speaking. Your pauses are not proof that your mind is empty. They are moments when your mind is learning to organize thought in a new language. Your slow answers are not shameful. They are bridges being built. Every sentence you speak makes the next sentence easier. Every conversation teaches your brain that English is something you can survive. Then something deeper begins to happen. You stop entering conversations like a student waiting to be judged. You enter as a human being who has something to share. This change is powerful. When you think like a student, every sentence becomes a test. You search for the correct tense. You worry about pronunciation. You watch the other person's face for signs of judgment. You become divided. One part of you is speaking. Another part is checking. Another part is afraid. Another part is planning an escape. No wonder your mind becomes tired. But when you enter as a human being, your focus changes. You listen to understand. You speak to connect. You ask because you are curious. You answer because your experience matters. You no longer try to prove your English. You use English to carry your message. That is the purpose of language. Language is not a stage where you must perform perfectly. It is a bridge between two minds. The bridge does not need to be beautiful. It only needs to carry meaning safely from one side to the other. A simple sentence can do that. I understand. I disagree. I need help. That happened to me too. I am not sure. Can you explain? These are not weak sentences. They are living sentences. They move the conversation forward. They show your presence. They tell the world, I am here. I have something to say. The awakened legend understands this truth. They do not hide a clear idea behind difficult words. They do not use complicated English to impress people. They choose words that feel natural. They speak simply and honestly. They know that clear communication is more powerful than confused perfection. You may have spent years believing that fluency means speed, but speed is not always fluency. Some people speak quickly and say very little. Some people speak slowly and every word carries meaning. True fluency is not racing. It is freedom. It is the freedom to begin, the freedom to pause, the freedom to change a sentence, the freedom to ask for help, the freedom to laugh at a mistake, the freedom to continue. When you have this freedom, the freeze begins dying. It cannot survive inside a mind that no longer demands perfection. It cannot control a person who knows how to recover. It cannot silence someone who has accepted that mistakes are normal. The freeze grows in resistance. It becomes stronger when you say, I must not feel nervous. It becomes stronger when you say, I must not pause. It becomes stronger when you say, I must not make any mistakes. But the awakened speaker says, I may feel nervous, and I can still speak. They say, I may pause, and I am still in control. They say, I may make a mistake, and the conversation can continue. This acceptance removes the fear's strongest weapon. Fear wants you to fight yourself. It wants you to feel ashamed of every human moment. But when you stop fighting yourself, fear loses its place to hide. Imagine the next time someone asks you an unexpected question in English. For 1 second, the old feeling may return. Your heart may jump. Your mind may search quickly. A familiar voice may whisper, you are going to freeze. But now another voice exists inside you. It is quieter, but stronger. It says, breathe. You breathe out slowly. You relax your shoulders. You look at the person. You use a rescue phrase. That is an interesting question. Your mind receives a few precious seconds. An idea appears. You begin with a chunk. In my experience, the next sentence is not perfect, but it is clear. You forget one word. Instead of stopping, you explain it another way. You pause. Instead of looking ashamed, you remain calm. Then you continue. The conversation survives. The other person understands you. And after the moment ends, you realize something beautiful. You did not become fearless. You became greater than the fear. That is the difference. You do not need to destroy every nervous feeling. You need to stop obeying it. A feeling is not a command. A fast heartbeat does not mean run away. A blank second does not mean you know nothing. A mistake does not mean stop speaking. These are only moments. They rise. They pass. You remain. The awakened legend is the person who has learned to stay. Stay with the question. Stay with the pause. Stay with the listener. Stay with the sentence. Stay with yourself. Many people disappear mentally before their body leaves. They are standing inside the conversation, but their attention has already run away. They begin thinking about how they sound. They imagine the other person judging them. They remember an old embarrassing moment. They prepare to feel shame before anything has even happened. The awakened speaker returns to the present. They listen to the words being spoken now. They answer the question being asked now. They use the words available now. They stop carrying yesterday's mistakes into today's conversation. This is how the mind becomes free. You do not need to solve your entire English journey during one conversation. You only need to handle the present sentence. One breath, one phrase, one thought. One sentence, then another. A whole conversation is only many small moments placed together. When you focus on all of it at once, it feels heavy. When you focus on one moment, it becomes possible. This is the same way a person climbs a mountain. They do not carry the whole mountain. They lift one foot, then the other. The top is reached through steps that look too small to matter. Your speaking power will grow in the same way. One voice message, one question, one answer, one recovered mistake, one conversation you almost avoided but entered anyway. These moments may feel ordinary, but together they create a new identity. One day, someone will ask you a sudden question, and you will answer without preparing. The conversation will continue. Later, you may not even remember it. That is when you will know the change has become deep. What once felt impossible will begin feeling normal. You will no longer celebrate every sentence because speaking will no longer feel like a rare event. It will become part of who you are, but do not wait for that day to call yourself a speaker. Call yourself one now. You do not need perfect fluency to earn that identity. A writer is someone who writes. A runner is someone who runs. A speaker is someone who speaks. Even if your sentences are simple, you are a speaker. Even if your voice shakes, you are a speaker. Even if you need time, you are a speaker. Even if you make mistakes, you are a speaker. Identity grows through action. Each time you speak, you vote for the person you want to become. One vote may feel small, but repeated votes create a new truth. You must protect this new identity. There will be difficult days. Some conversations will feel easy, others will feel heavy. Sometimes your words will flow beautifully. Sometimes even simple sentences will feel far away. Do not judge your whole journey by one bad day. Progress is not a straight road. A strong person can still have a weak moment. A fluent speaker can still forget a word. A calm person can still feel nervous. One difficult conversation does not erase everything you have built. It is only one moment. Learn from it, then continue. After a difficult conversation, do not say, "I failed again." Ask better questions. What made the pressure stronger? Did the person speak too quickly? Was I tired? Did I try to make the answer too perfect? Which phrase could help me next time? This turns pain into training. The old version of you used mistakes as weapons against yourself. The awakened version uses mistakes as information. There is no shame in discovering where you need more practice. A map is useful because it shows the road ahead. Your difficult moments are maps. They reveal the exact places where your confidence can grow next. Maybe phone calls make you freeze. Practice phone calls. Maybe group conversations frighten you. Begin with a group of 2 people. Maybe fast questions confuse you. Use the fast question drill. Maybe you become silent when you forget a word. Practice describing objects without naming them. Maybe pauses make you feel exposed. Record yourself using calm pauses. Every weakness can become a training plan. Nothing is wasted. This is how the awakened legend thinks. They do not say, "This problem proves I am weak." They say, "This problem shows me what to train." They do not run from the uncomfortable place. They enter it carefully and repeatedly until it becomes familiar. Fear loves the unknown. Practice makes the unknown known. Once your mind has visited a situation many times, it stops treating it like a monster. You have already experienced this in other parts of life. The first time you entered a new school, office, or place, it may have felt strange. After many days, it became normal. The place did not change. Your mind became familiar with it. Speaking English under pressure works the same way. The first surprise question may feel dangerous. The 100th becomes another question. The first English call may feel terrifying. After enough calls, it becomes a normal part of the day. The first public mistake may burn inside you. Later, you may laugh and correct yourself without pain. Familiarity turns fear into something smaller. This is why daily speaking matters more than rare, perfect practice. 10 minutes every day can change you more than 2 hours once a month. Your mind needs regular proof. It needs to see again and again that you can begin, continue, and finish. Make English part of your ordinary life. Speak to yourself while preparing food. Describe what you are doing. Explain your plans aloud. Send voice messages. Answer imaginary questions. Summarize a video. Tell a short story. Give your opinion about something simple. Do not make every practice session serious. Play with the language. Make funny sentences. Describe ordinary objects dramatically. Pretend you are a teacher. Pretend you are being interviewed. Pretend you are explaining your city to a visitor. The more life you bring into English, the less English feels like a test. It becomes a tool, a companion, a second road for your thoughts. Enjoyment is powerful because fear cannot remain as strong inside a playful mind. You must also stop comparing your voice to everyone else. Someone may speak faster than you. Someone may know more words. Someone may have a clearer accent. Someone may have practiced for many more years. Their journey does not reduce the value of yours. A flower does not become ashamed because another flower opened earlier. Each one has its own season. Your work is not to become someone else. Your work is to become more free than you were yesterday. Maybe yesterday you stayed silent. Today you answered with one sentence. That is growth. Maybe yesterday you panicked after a mistake. Today you corrected yourself and continued. That is growth. Maybe yesterday you avoided a call. Today you stayed for 2 minutes. That is growth. Do not ignore small victories because they do not look dramatic. The largest changes are often built quietly. No one may clap when you answer one simple question. No one may understand how much courage it required. But your mind knows. Your nervous system knows. Your future self is being built inside that unseen moment. Keep a record of these victories. Write them down. Today I asked a question in English. Today I spoke even though I was nervous. Today I forgot a word and explained it. Today I paused without apologizing. Today someone understood me. These sentences become evidence. On difficult days, read them. Remind yourself that fear is not telling the full story. Fear remembers only danger. You must teach your mind to remember courage. The awakened legend carries proof, not proof of perfection, proof of persistence. The world may never know how many private battles you fought to speak one clear sentence, but you will know. You will remember the days when your tongue froze. You will remember the conversations you escaped. You will remember the embarrassment that made you want to stop trying. Then you will hear yourself speaking calmly one day, and the voice coming from your mouth will feel like a person you once dreamed of becoming. That moment will not arrive through magic. It will arrive because you kept returning. You kept practicing. You kept forgiving yourself. You kept speaking before you felt ready. You kept choosing communication over perfection. The awakened legend is not born in one great moment. It is built through hundreds of small decisions. The decision to breathe instead of panic. The decision to begin instead of wait. The decision to continue instead of correct every word. The decision to stay instead of escape. The decision to practice instead of complain. The decision to believe that your voice deserves space. Your voice does deserve space. Your thoughts matter even when your grammar is simple. Your experience matters even when your accent is different. Your questions matter even when they are not perfectly formed. Your presence matters. Do not wait for flawless English before allowing yourself to be heard. Your language will improve because you use it, not because you hide it. A sword becomes sharp through contact. A muscle becomes strong through use. A speaking mind becomes powerful through speaking. Protecting yourself from every mistake also protects you from growth. You cannot become free while always choosing safety. But you do not need to jump into the biggest fear today. Choose one small act of courage. Ask one question. Answer one stranger. Send one voice note. Join one short conversation. Stay 10 seconds longer than you normally would. That is enough for today. Tomorrow, do it again. The awakened legend respects small steps because they understand where those steps lead. There may come a time when another learner looks at you and thinks, they speak so naturally. They were probably always confident. They will not see the hidden work. They will not see the 3-second drills. They will not see the uncomfortable recordings. They will not see the pauses you learned to accept. They will not see the words you forgot and found another way to explain. They will see the final calmness, but not the fire that created it. Remember this when you look at confident speakers. They may also have struggled. They may also have frozen. They may also have felt ashamed. The difference is that they continued long enough for the struggle to become skill. You can do the same. Your past silence does not decide your future voice. Your old fear does not own your mouth. The person you were is not the person you must remain. At this moment, the final lesson is asking you for one promise. Not a promise that you will never make another mistake. Not a promise that you will never feel nervous. Not a promise that every conversation will go perfectly. Make a stronger promise. Promise that you will no longer disappear. When fear appears, you will breathe. When your mind becomes empty, you will use a phrase. When you forget a word, you will explain. When silence comes, you will remain calm. When you make a mistake, you will continue. When pressure rises, you will remember your training. You will not abandon yourself inside the conversation. That is the promise of the awakened legend. The next sudden conversation may arrive tomorrow. It may arrive today. Someone may look at you and ask a question you did not expect. The old fear may knock on the door. Let it knock. You do not need to open it. Take one breath. Relax your body. Remember that the person in front of you is not waiting for perfection. They are waiting for connection. Use the first words you can find. Speak slowly. Let the sentence be simple. Allow a pause. Continue. The moment may not feel heroic, but it is, because every time you speak instead of hiding, you are rewriting your identity. Every time you stay present, the silent killer becomes weaker. Every time you trust your imperfect voice, the silent warrior becomes stronger. Every phrase becomes part of your arsenal. Every chunk becomes part of your flow. Every pause becomes part of your power. Every pressure moment becomes part of your training. And every conversation brings you closer to the person who never freezes again. Not because fear has vanished forever, but because fear is no longer the strongest voice inside you. Your courage is stronger. Your training is stronger. Your patience is stronger. Your desire to connect is stronger. You are no longer waiting for the perfect version of yourself to begin speaking. You have begun. You are no longer trapped inside your silent mind. The door is open. Your voice is moving. Your thoughts are reaching the world. And from this moment forward, when English arrives suddenly, you will not ask, "What if I freeze?" You will remember who you have become. You will breathe. You will look forward. You will open your mouth, and you will speak. Bonus Chapter 8. The Voice Beyond Fear. Carry your new English identity into every conversation. There is a moment after every lesson when knowledge must become life. You can understand fear. You can learn useful phrases. You can practice pauses. You can train under pressure. You can even begin believing that you are becoming a stronger speaker. But the real change begins when you carry these lessons outside practice, into the shop, into the classroom, into the office, into the phone call, into the interview, into the unexpected moment when someone turns toward you and begins speaking English. That is where your new voice must live. Many people become brave during practice, but return to their old fear in real life. When they are alone, they speak clearly. When they record themselves, they sound confident. When they prepare an answer, they feel ready. But the moment becomes different when another person is standing in front of them. Suddenly, they forget everything. They return to the old belief, this is real now. But practice was also real. Every word you spoke alone was real. Every difficult exercise was real. Every mistake you survived was real. Every moment you continued instead of stopping was real. Your strength does not disappear simply because another person is watching. It is still inside you. You must learn to carry it. Imagine that your confidence is a small light. At first, it only shines when you are safe and alone. Then you take it into a short conversation. The light shakes, but it stays alive. You take it into a phone call. The light becomes weak for a moment, but it does not go out. You take it into a group. The wind becomes stronger. Still, you protect the flame. Every time you speak in a real situation, the light grows. One day, the same wind that once frightened you will no longer control it. Your confidence will no longer depend on the room. It will come from inside you. This is the voice beyond fear. It is not a voice that never shakes. It is a voice that continues even when it shakes. It is not a mind that never becomes blank. It is a mind that knows what to do when the blank moment arrives. It is not perfect English. It is living English. English that can move. English that can recover. English that can connect, English that belongs to you. You must now understand one important truth. You are not trying to sound like someone else. You are not trying to copy another person's accent, speed, or personality. You are learning how to express your own mind in another language. Your English voice may be quieter than someone else's. It may be slower. It may use simpler words. That does not make it less valuable. A quiet river can still be deep. A simple sentence can still carry a powerful truth. Your voice does not become important because it sounds perfect. It becomes important because it carries something real. Maybe you have ideas that could help someone. Maybe you have a question that could change your future. Maybe you have a story that another person needs to hear. Maybe you have an opportunity waiting behind one conversation. But fear has kept these things inside you. Fear has made you believe that silence is safer. Sometimes silence does protect you from embarrassment, but it may also protect you from growth. It may protect you from friendship. It may protect you from opportunity. It may protect you from being known. Every time you remain silent only because you are afraid, something inside you remains unseen. This does not mean you must speak all the time. Silence can still be wise, but there is a difference between choosing silence and being trapped inside it. Chosen silence feels peaceful. Fearful silence feels painful. You know the difference. One gives you power. The other takes your power away. From now on, when you feel yourself becoming silent, ask one question. Am I choosing not to speak, or am I hiding? Be honest. If you are hiding, take one small step. You do not need to give a long answer. Say one sentence. Ask one question. Use one phrase. Enter the conversation in a small way. A doorway does not need to be wide for you to begin walking through it. One sentence can be enough. Perhaps someone asks, "What do you think?" Your old self may lower their eyes. Your new self can say, "I think it is a good idea, but we should be careful." That is enough. You entered. You did not disappear. The next time, you may say more. Confidence grows through these small acts. It does not always arrive with a powerful feeling. Sometimes confidence looks like a quiet decision. A decision to remain. A decision to try. A decision to answer simply. A decision not to run from your own voice. You must also become comfortable with being misunderstood sometimes. This is difficult for many learners. They believe that if another person says, "Sorry?" or "What do you mean?" they have failed. But misunderstanding happens in every language. Even people who speak the same language perfectly can misunderstand each other. A noisy room can cause it. A new idea can cause it. A different accent can cause it. A fast sentence can cause it. A tired mind can cause it. Do not turn every small misunderstanding into proof that your English is bad. Simply try again. Say, "Let me say that another way. What I mean is, I will explain more simply." Then give the message another road. This is not weakness. This is communication skill. A powerful speaker is not someone who is understood perfectly every time. A powerful speaker notices when the message has not arrived and sends it again more clearly. That is all. Do not make the moment heavier than it is. Imagine you are carrying a letter across a river. If the first bridge is closed, you do not throw the letter away. You find another bridge. Your meaning is the letter. Your words are only the bridge. If one word does not work, choose another. If one sentence becomes confusing, make it shorter. If the listener looks uncertain, give an example. The message matters more than the exact path. This truth will give you freedom. You will no longer feel trapped by one sentence. You will no longer believe that forgetting one word means losing the whole conversation. You will become flexible. And flexibility is one of the deepest forms of fluency. The strongest tree is not always the hardest tree. Sometimes the strongest tree is the one that can bend when the wind comes. Your English must learn to bend. If the sentence you planned disappears, build a different sentence. If the advanced word is missing, use a simple word. If you cannot explain the whole idea, explain one part first. If the conversation moves too quickly, ask for time. Do not break because the moment changed. Move with it. Flow with it. This is how your speaking becomes natural. Natural speaking is not perfect control. It is calm adjustment. Real conversations are alive. They change direction. People laugh. People interrupt. People remember something new. They ask unexpected questions. They sometimes do not finish their sentences. You cannot prepare for every word. You do not need to. You are no longer preparing a perfect speech. You are learning to dance with the moment. In a dance, you may not know every next step, but you remain connected. You listen. You respond. You move. Conversation works the same way. Do not live only inside your own mind while speaking. Look at the other person. Listen to their voice. Notice their expression. Let the conversation guide you. Many learners freeze because they are not truly listening. They are preparing. While the other person speaks, they are building an answer. They are checking grammar. They are searching for impressive words. Then they miss part of the question. Now their fear becomes even stronger. Learn to listen without preparing too early. Let the other person finish. Receive the whole message. Then pause. Breathe. Begin. A short pause after listening is better than a fast answer to the wrong question. Listening is not an empty part of conversation. It is half of speaking well. When you listen deeply, your answer becomes easier. The other person often gives you words you can use. They give you the topic. They give you the direction. Sometimes they even give you the sentence pattern. You do not always need to create everything from nothing. Use what the conversation offers you. If someone says, "I think working from home is more comfortable," you can answer, "Yes, I agree that it is more comfortable," especially because you borrowed part of their language. That is natural. People do this all the time. Conversation is shared language. You do not need to carry the whole weight alone. You should also practice asking questions. Many learners believe speaking means giving long answers, but good conversation is not only answering, it is also showing interest. When you ask a question, the pressure moves away from you for a moment. The other person speaks. You listen. Your mind receives time. The conversation becomes balanced. Use simple questions. What happened next? How did you feel? Why do you think that? Have you done that before? What would you recommend? These questions keep the conversation alive. They show that you care. They also reduce the pressure to perform. You are not standing on a stage. You are sharing the moment. This is important because fear often grows when you believe everyone is watching only you. But a conversation has two sides. You do not need to entertain the other person. You do not need to impress them. You only need to be present. Presence is more powerful than performance. A person may forget your grammar mistakes. They may forget your exact words, but they will remember whether you listened. They will remember whether you were kind. They will remember whether they felt comfortable around you. Human connection is larger than language. Do not allow one imperfect tense to make you forget this. Your warmth can speak before your grammar becomes perfect. Your honesty can speak. Your curiosity can speak. Your smile can speak. Your attention can speak. English is one part of the message, not the whole message. This does not mean grammar is useless. It matters. Vocabulary matters. Pronunciation matters, but they are servants of communication. They are not your judges. Learn them, improve them, respect them, but do not allow them to silence you. You can improve while speaking. You do not have to become perfect before you begin living. Imagine someone who wants to become strong but refuses to lift anything until their body is already strong. That makes no sense. Strength comes from lifting. Speaking strength comes from speaking. You build the ability through use. The conversation you fear may be the exact conversation that teaches you what no book can teach. It may show you which words you need. It may show you where your listening becomes weak. It may show you how quickly you recover. It may reveal that people are kinder than your fear told you. Many learners imagine terrible reactions. They imagine laughter. They imagine judgment. They imagine the other person becoming impatient. Sometimes a difficult person may exist, but most people are not waiting to attack your mistakes. Most people are simply listening for meaning. They may even respect your effort. Remember, speaking another language requires courage. You are doing something difficult. You are building a second voice. Do not reduce this achievement because you are not perfect yet. Give yourself credit, not empty praise. Honest credit. You showed up. You tried. You stayed. You continued. These actions matter. You must now create a daily life where your new voice can grow. Do not wait for rare, big opportunities. Use small ones. Change the language of one phone setting. Listen to a short English message. Answer one question aloud. Describe your morning. Read one paragraph with feeling. Send one voice note. Speak to one person. Small daily contact keeps the door open. When you leave English untouched for many days, fear may return. The language begins feeling distant again, but regular use keeps it close. Think of English as a path through a field. If you walk on it every day, the path remains clear. If you stop using it, grass begins covering it. The path is still there, but it becomes harder to see. Daily speaking keeps the path open between your mind and your mouth. It does not need to be long. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow. Then again, a little pressure, a little recovery, a little improvement. One day, you will look back and realize that your mind no longer needs to travel through fear before reaching your voice. The road will become shorter, the words will arrive faster, the pauses will feel calmer, the mistakes will feel lighter, the conversation will feel more human. This is how freedom grows. Quietly, repeatedly, almost invisibly, until one day, something that once controlled you no longer has the same power. You may still remember the old freeze. You may remember how your heart raced. You may remember leaving conversations with pain. You may remember creating perfect answers too late. But those memories will begin feeling like an old room you no longer live in. You can visit it in memory, but it is not your home. Your new home is presence. Your new home is courage. Your new home is imperfect movement. Your new home is the decision to speak. Do not expect every future conversation to be easy. Some days your mind will be tired. Some people will speak very quickly. Some topics will be unfamiliar. Some questions will surprise you. There may still be moments when your words move slowly, but difficulty is not the same as defeat. A hard conversation does not mean you have returned to the beginning. You are allowed to struggle without losing your new identity. A strong swimmer can still face strong waves. The waves do not erase their ability. They simply require more patience. On difficult days, return to your foundation. Breathe. Use a time-buying phrase. Speak in chunks. Accept the pause. Explain the missing word. Ask a question. Stay. These tools are now part of you. You do not need to remember every lesson at once. Your practice has already placed them deeper inside your mind. Trust what you have trained. The purpose of practice is not to make you think more during the real moment. It is to make useful actions appear with less thinking. A musician practices scales so the fingers can move naturally. An athlete repeats movements so the body can respond quickly. You repeat phrases, pauses, and pressure drills so your speaking mind can respond when you need it. Let the training carry you. Do not try to control every detail. Begin and allow the next sentence to come. You have learned enough to start. You will continue learning as you go. This is one of the most beautiful truths about language. You do not finish learning and then begin speaking. You speak, and the speaking continues teaching you. Every conversation becomes a lesson. Every listener becomes part of your growth. Every misunderstanding teaches clarity. Every pause teaches patience. Every mistake teaches recovery. Every brave sentence teaches identity. Nothing is wasted. Even the conversations that feel uncomfortable can shape you. Perhaps you leave one conversation feeling disappointed. You remember a word you could not find. You notice a sentence that became confused. Do not use the moment to hurt yourself. Study it gently. Ask, what did I want to say? How could I say it more simply next time? Which phrase would help me? Then practice the improved answer once or twice. Now the painful moment has become useful. You turned embarrassment into training. This is emotional strength. You no longer allow one difficult moment to define you. You use it. You grow from it. Then you release it. Do not carry every mistake into bed. Do not replay every sentence for hours. The conversation is over. Take the lesson and leave the shame. Shame makes the mind close. Curiosity makes the mind open. Choose curiosity. Say, interesting. My mind froze there. Why? Maybe you were trying to sound too advanced. Maybe you were speaking too quickly. Maybe you did not understand the question. Maybe you were afraid of one person's opinion. Now you know where to train. This is not failure. This is information. The awakened speaker becomes a kind observer of their own mind. They notice fear without becoming fear. They notice mistakes without becoming the mistake. They notice progress without needing perfection. They understand that growth requires both courage and kindness. Courage makes you enter the conversation. Kindness helps you return after a difficult one. You need both. Without courage, you remain hidden. Without kindness, you become tired and give up. Be brave enough to speak. Be gentle enough to continue learning. This balance will carry you farther than pressure and self-hatred ever could. Now think about the future version of you. Imagine yourself 6 months from today. You are in a situation that once frightened you. Someone asks you a sudden question. You feel a small moment of pressure, but you do not panic. You smile. You pause. You begin. The words are not perfect, but they move. You explain your thought. You ask a question. The other person responds. The conversation continues. Nothing dramatic happens. That is the miracle. The moment that once felt like a storm has become ordinary. You walk away without replaying every word. You continue your day. This is real freedom. Not becoming a perfect speaker. Becoming free from the prison of constant fear. That future is not far away. It is being created now. Every sentence you speak today is building it. Every small risk is building it. Every time you refuse to disappear, you are building it. The future voice is growing inside present courage. So do not ask only, how long will it take? Ask, what can I practice today? Time will pass anyway. Let it pass while you are speaking. Let it pass while your mind becomes calmer. Let it pass while the old fear loses strength. One day, the time will have passed, and you will have a voice you trust. You will not need to remember exactly when the change happened. It will have grown quietly through repeated action, like sunrise. The darkness does not leave in one sudden movement. The light grows little by little. Then the room is bright. Your speaking journey is the same. One phrase, one pause, one brave answer, one difficult call, one recovered mistake, one real conversation, then another. The light grows. You must now make a final decision. Will English remain something you only study, or will it become something you use? Will your voice remain inside your mind, or will you allow it to enter the world? Will fear continue deciding when you are allowed to speak, or will you begin speaking before fear gives permission? No one else can make this decision for you. A teacher can guide you. A book can help you. An audiobook can show you the road, but your mouth must speak the first sentence. Your body must stay in the moment. Your courage must take the step. That step can happen today. Not when your grammar becomes perfect. Not when you learn 5,000 more words. Not when you stop feeling nervous forever. Today, use the English you have. Use it simply. Use it honestly. Use it imperfectly. But use it, because the English inside your mind cannot become natural while it remains silent. It needs air. It needs sound. It needs real moments. Give it life. The next conversation is not a test. It is practice with a heartbeat. The next question is not a danger. It is an invitation. The next pause is not a failure. It is space. The next mistake is not the end. It is one moment inside a much larger journey. And the next sentence does not need to be perfect. It only needs to begin. You began this journey believing that freezing meant something was wrong with you. Now you know the truth. Your mind was trying to protect you from judgment, but its protection became a prison. You have learned how to open that prison. You exposed the fear. You awakened calmness. You collected phrases. You built natural chunks. You mastered pauses. You trained under pressure. You changed your identity. Now the final door is open. Walk through it. Carry your voice into the world. Let it shake if it must. Let it pause. Let it search. Let it make mistakes. But do not force it back into silence. You have been silent long enough. The words were never missing. They were waiting for safety. Then they were waiting for training. Now they are waiting for action. The next time someone speaks English to you, remember this moment. Do not search for a perfect performance. Search for connection. Take one breath. Listen. Stay. Begin with one simple phrase. Let the first sentence come. Then trust the next one. You are not the person who must disappear anymore. You are the person who can remain. You are the person who can recover. You are the person who can speak before feeling ready. You are the person who can carry fear without obeying it. You are the person who has found the road between the silent mind and the living voice. That road is open now. Walk it every day. And whenever English arrives suddenly, do not ask whether you are ready. Breathe. Look forward. Open your mouth and let your new voice answer. The next time English arrives without warning, do not wait for fear to leave. Breathe. Pause. Begin with one simple sentence. You do not need perfect words. You only need the courage to stay. Your voice was never gone. It was waiting for you to trust it. Now go speak.